Hi, Mitch Bailey here. There is a plethora of training out there for those people that are looking for some free HVAC training, and some classes are starting up next year. We need to fill these classes up because, in some cases, like with the PG&E class, if not enough people show up live, they might cancel it or make it just a webinar. And I'm telling you what, it's a way better class when it's live and in person. It's in Stockton. The Stockton class is the first class coming up is gas heating in January. It's January 7th and 8th. The class goes from 6 to 9 at night. And then if you show up at 5, between 5 and 6, they serve dinner. So, and it's free. This is free training, free hands-on. Take advantage of this. This is for at PG&E in Stockton on Boeing Way. I'll put a QR code on the screen so you guys can register for the class. But it's going to be a great class. We're going to be giving away a manometer at this class too. So if it goes live, if it goes not live, then no, we won't give away a manometer. It's just for the people that attend live. Get free dinner and 2 nights, 3-hour class, 6 hours over at 9. It's in Stockton at their training center, and it's right here. It's the Pacific Gas and Electric Training Center in Stockton on Boeing Way. Bob and myself will be giving the class. It will be simulcast, so if you can't make it in person, you can watch it online. Also, you can sign up for that part of it. And here's the series. So you can go to this, and I'll put a link to this in the description to go to this database for PG&E, and you can just type in iHacky in the filter, and it'll give you all the different classes. And this first class, it's not the first one in the list because we're looking at the card view. So if you switch it over to calendar view, you'll see all the classes coming up in January here. You can switch it to the month in January. And 7th and 8th is the iHacky class. It's a Tuesday and Wednesday. There are some other classes that PG&E has. PG&E has a plethora of classes that are free. On one here's financials of solar, and you can click on the link, solar and storage battery. You also have one here for air sealing new and retro passive buildings. And then there's an electrical vehicle one in the same month. These classes, are these webinars or live? I think these might be live events. I'm not sure. When I say live, you actually show up and we'll be there. It's an all-day class typically. Some of them are webinars though too. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on in February in PG&E. Again, they have the electrical charging one. They have an emergency lighting class. Okay, but on the 11th to 12th, the 18th and 19th is the iHacky electrical modules, which it starts out with really good basics. It builds on that, shows you how to read the symbols or the different electrical symbols, the different components in an HVAC system and how they operate and how that run off electricity. And then the last 2 nights, we start doing some diagnosing. We take a circuit board and we go through like a 50-ton package unit and what's going on with it and try to solve a couple of problems. And we do, it's a very good class to have. Let's see what else we have here. So let's see, February. What you don't see on this one and is coming up, let me go back to this one for the indoor comfort news. So in February, after the electrical module, there's also going to be a tools for assessing HVAC and building performance. So basically the first night it's a webinar. The next 2 days are hands-on training at the PG&E Training Center. They are at night, again, 6 to 9. This is a really good class. If you do not know how to use a blower door, if you do not know how to use a flow hood, if you don't know how to use a true flow grid, if you don't know how to use manometers, if you don't know how to use take static pressures and come up with the airflow through a system, this trains you how to do all that stuff. It's a really good class. It's hands-on, and the cool part is PG&E has a tool lending library that you can actually go and borrow all these tools. They have all kinds of tools. You name the tool, they have it. They have FLIR cameras. They have all kinds of meters. They have if you want to do check a bath fan, they have a little pan that you put on there and use a manometer, and it'll give you how many CFM that bath fan's pulling. They have this matrix here, this storage air data multi-data logging, this matrix down here. This matrix will what it does, it'll allow you to measure airflow across a commercial hood. Or if you're doing economizers, it's really good for doing that. This is a great tool for doing a traverse across a hood or across an economizer to see how much air is being pulled in either one. And you can borrow this tool for up to 2 weeks through PG&E tool lending library, and it's free. It costs nothing to borrow the tool. Okay, you do have to return it after 2 weeks. Now, that class, it's going to go over taking pressures, it's going to go over taking temperatures, it's going to go taking over superheat and subcooling using smart probes, using manifold gauges. It's going to be a true hands-on course, and you guys get to use all these tools to do it. So that tool lending class down here on the that's going to be on the 11th, the 12th, the 18th, and the 19th. I'm sorry, that's electrical module. It's going to be on the February 25th, 26th, and 27th. First day's a webinar, first night's a webinar. Then after that, the other classes are going to be live and in person, and it's 2 nights because there's a lot of tools we go over. And then when you're done, you'll be able to actually assess what the SEER and the EAR rating of that piece of equipment is. You can measure that, and we'll show you how to measure that in the field using these tools. In March, I'm sorry, I was going to drag it up. In March, they have the new hire module. Now, this may switch over from in-person to webinar because they wanted to change up some of these and do a few of them as webinars. So the new hire and the HVAC support and training may switch. Not sure yet. In April, they have optimization of commercial refrigeration systems. This is given by John Dalton. It is a webinar class. And then they have, that's on the April 7th and 8th, and then on the 14th and 15th, John Dalton's going to be giving a class on commercial boilers. And then probably one of the best classes that I think they have out there is the air distribution module. And that air distribution module, that's on April 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th. Those classes, they're live, hands-on. The first couple of days, we go over how air distribution works and how to calculate it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to design a system. We're going to take that system, or if we designed it, did actual duct design and calculated the size of the ducts, go in, and we're going to build that system in the lab. We're going to put it all together, and yes, it's all flex stock, and it's got an air handler, and then we're going to measure the airflow. Then we're going to make changes and show you how you can make it better by just making a few duct changes. And it's a really great hands-on class. It's one of the few classes I've ever actually seen people, when they're sitting there watching it, that you actually see that light bulb go on over their head because they go, they finally understand some of these relationships between static pressures, brake horsepower, and airflow. And it's a fantastic class. And then in May we're going to have the 4-night class for system performance, and that is a really good class. That's, again, it's supposed to be a live class and simulcast. That's May 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th of May. Great class because you're going to learn how to make a system actually perform like it's supposed to, measure that in the field to ensure that what you put in for the customer is actually delivering what it's supposed to do. That's what I like to do. I love to do that on every system. We measure the BTUs that the unit's producing. And if you don't know how to do it, you got to go to some of these classes and it'll get that. Now, if this is for Northern California. Now, in Southern California, we're going to be over in Tulare here. There are going to be the same classes repeated. They have the electrical module, which is going to happen in January. It's toward the end of the month, the 15th, the 16th, the 22nd, 23rd. I will be teaching that alone. It's not simulcast, so Bob won't be there for that one. Gas heating module for them will be in February, February 19th and 20th. Air distribution class for Tulare, Southern California Edison will be on March 5th, 6th, and 12th and the 13th. These are still all live classes in Tulare, and they do serve dinner, same thing. Show up at 5, you get dinner, 6 o'clock the class starts, over at 9, and then you just rinse and repeat the next day, and then the next week we do it again, 2 classes. Great class for the air distribution class. If you want to take it down there, you can. It's a 2-hour drive for me. I don't know if you guys want to drive 2 hours, but if you're in Southern California, yeah, take advantage of it. This is in Tulare. It's close enough to Fresno. It's close enough to Bakersfield for most people to make these classes, no problem. Then in April in Tulare, we're going to have system performance. Again, it's a really good class. We're going to demonstrate, and Steve's got a great training unit down there, Steve Clinton, who runs that facility, and we'll be able to use that to demonstrate BTUs, how to measure it in the field, how to measure the amps, the watts, and the power factor in the field, how to take those readings and convert that into how much the EER of the equipment, and then it'll give you an approximate SEER of the equipment, so you can actually show them the BTUs, show them you know, the EER and SER of your customers. They'll love that because you'll be able to actually say, yeah, I put a 3-ton unit in. Guess what? It's getting 35,000 BTUs. That's as close as you're going to get because it's not laboratory conditions. This is in the field. This is the real world. Then in May, they're going to have their, oops, let me move that back. In May, they're going to have their commercial chiller module, their commercial refrigeration module also, and those are going to be by John, and that's on the 7th and 8th and the 14th and 15th. Those will be done by John Dalton. Those will be live in class, in-person classes in Tulare. There will not be webinars, so if you want to go. And then one of the cool part about down in Tulare, which is really, really nice, is Steve has all this. He has a chiller, he has boilers, be able to use their facility. You actually can go out and tour the facility he has, because he has chillers and boilers and a cooling tower, and he show how all those things operate right there, hands-on. It's great class, boiler chiller module right there in Tulare if you want to take it. There's a plethora of classes. All you need to do, I'm going to post in there links to these websites so you can sign up for these classes. The first class, though, coming up here next 2 weeks, it's only 2 weeks away, is the January gas heating one. And if you haven't signed up for it, sign up for it now, especially for it live in person. We're going to give away a manometer. But if we don't get enough people signing on, they're thinking about moving it or canceling it. And I think it'd be an excellent class if you struggle with furnaces or are not sure about something, take this class. You're going to find out a whole lot on it. It's live in person in Stockton. So if you haven't signed up for it, please sign up for it. I'll have links in the description for all these classes. These are all free. They cost you nothing. Well, not true. You paid for it, because every time you pay your gas and electric bill, a little money goes into account to pay for these classes. So you are paying for it, but you've already paid for it. Take advantage of these classes. Use them before we lose them, because if we don't go to these classes, people don't show up, the utilities, Southern California Edison, PG&E, they're going to look and put their money elsewhere where that people attend classes. So attend these classes if you're looking, and if you know somebody that's just starting out, the new hire module and the HVAC support's an excellent class for them to take. And these are classes, all these classes can be taken by them, even if they're just starting out. They'll get something out of it, I guarantee it. Okay. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. And again, if you haven't signed up for these classes, please sign up for these classes. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.